So, what's up people and welcome to the chapter 107 discussion of Kaiju number 8 or Kaiju 8号. So chapter 107 came out about 10 days ago, and as always I will leave a link to this chapter that's currently being shown on the publisher's official website, Manga Plus, for free to the North American audience. So if you're interested, yeah, I will go take a look at it before they pull this chapter back. Okay, so if you recall in chapter 106, we left off where Kafka finally was able to successfully attack monster number 9. And that is because he started using the Hoshina style of martial arts along with the JDF standard style of martial arts. And if you recall in chapter 106, we found out that because monster number 9 had absorbed Commander Isao Shinomiya's memories, he was able to predict what Kafka was going to do using the standard JDF's martial arts. But by including Hoshina's style of martial arts, this gave him the ability to successfully finally bring in an attack. So we kind of expected 107 to be where Kafka goes on the offensive and he would have an advantage. But what we find out is that that is not really true. And so the chapter starts out exactly where we left off in chapter 106, where Kafka has given a devastating blow to monster number 9. And from the look at it, it almost looked like maybe he has reached the core of monster number 9 and all he had to do was shatter the core and we will be done. But of course, this is monster number 9 and you don't expect a fast ending to this sort of battle. And of course, we find out that monster number 9 has a barrier protecting the core, which makes sense. I mean, if he had that much power, he would do everything he can to protect his core, right? And so monster number 9, realizing that this wasn't going to be that easy a fight, tries to go in to attack, but at that time monster number 9 gets up and immediately creates an explosion that makes monster number 8 not be able to figure out where monster number 9's location is. And using that little bit of advantage, monster number 9 tells monster number 8, so it's you who ends up being my final battle here. And with that, monster number 9 appears in front of monster number 8. And we find out at this point, this image shows really well just how big monster number 9 is compared to monster number 8. Now, if you recall in the past, monster number 9 was a weaker monster than monster number 8. Monster number 9 was more into trickery, and monster number 8 was one of the most powerful battle monsters out there. But with this size difference, it becomes more difficult to figure out who is stronger, and monster number 9 goes on the offensive. But of course, monster number 8, being more trained in martial arts, is able to get away, at least for a little while. But monster number 9, taking his size and strength advantage, starts pummeling monster number 8 mercilessly. And it's at this point that he starts talking with monster number 8, and starts saying that it seems you're not completely a monster, you used to be a human. And so he starts talking about humans and starts mentioning how curious he is about them, that they are this very unusual species that he has become very interested in. And monster number 8, being partially human, exhibits that sort of humanity, and because of that he has become very interested in getting to know monster number 8 as well as the human species much more. And he starts talking about how he has already researched a lot on humanity by dissecting and devouring them, and of course receiving the memories as he does so. And the more he learns, the more interested he grows. Because considering the fact that the human species is considered at the top of the food chain, they seem to be very empathic with the living organisms around them. And unlike other living species, they rule this planet with technology and society sort of behavior. But considering that they have become the top of the food chain, they seem to give themselves up for others, including those that are weaker than themselves. And it's something that monster number 9 just cannot understand, and it's because of that that he wants to know more. And you see this scene where there's some very disturbing thoughts about exactly just how much Monster Number 9 is obsessed with the human species and what he wants to learn so much. And considering how much he wants to learn, we see an image of what he wants to turn society into to learn so much about the human species, which is to basically absorb them and zombify them so that he could learn from all of the living entities in society. Now, of course, by doing so, he would destroy the human race, but he will learn so much from them. And this is the society that he is working towards. And of course, this disgusts Kafka. And he answers that he will never let Monster Number 9 create such a world. But of course, Monster Number 9 is unfazed with Monster Number 8's attacks. And he comes back and saying, you are quite amusing and why would I even listen to you? But you do seem to be better at fighting than you used to be. And so let me show you something very interesting. And at the end of this chapter, we see that Monster Number 9 has brought out the essence of Monster Number 2 as well. So now Monster Number 8 will have to fight a hybrid between Monster Number 9 and Monster Number 2. Now, if you recall, Monster Number 2 was the monster essence that Commander Isao Shinomiya had in his battlesuit, right? And this monster seemed to be a very powerful melee type monster, one of the most powerful around. So now, if you combine it with the trickery and all the unusual powers that Monster Number 9 has, you could understand that this will probably become a really difficult fight for Monster Number 8. But on the other hand, Kafka hasn't even started to use the martial arts that Commander Hoshina has taught him. And so it will be interesting. Monster Number 8 is still a really powerful monster. Kafka hasn't really utilized Monster Number 8's power to the fullest. So how far can he go now? And combining that with the JDF's martial arts and Commander Hoshina's martial arts, will that be enough to be able to defeat the hybrid of Monster Number 9 and Monster Number 2? It will be interesting to see because, of course, Monster Number 8 is not really fighting 9 and 2. He is fighting a monster that has absorbed both 9 and 2 and many other living entities, including Isao Shinomiya, right? And so this is a much more formidable adversary than just 9 and 2. If we were to look at other forms of manga, this would be the Kaiju Number 8's equivalent of All for One in My Hero Academia. And so it'll be interesting to see what Matsumoto Naoya has up his sleeves to give Kafka the edge to overcome this battle. But we'll have to wait until at least chapter 108 before we get any idea of what's going on. But this is the chapter 107 discussion of Kaiju 8号. If you read it, what'd you think about it? Any comments will be greatly appreciated. And until the next chapter, happy manga reading. And as always, Jaya, nice day, everyone.